Part 55. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 542. Liang Chen looked at the woman sitting on the sofa drinking coffee opposite him, feeling extremely flustered. Thinking about it now, this woman is so scheming, she has been plotting against him step by step. Even his guarantee letters were actually part of her plan from the beginning, right? So insidious. Little by little, she almost completely drained him. His car had been taken away long ago. All the savings had already gone into her pocket. His villa outside has also been sold. Now if I give her the villa where she lives, and give her another 20 million, he will be completely broke. No, it's not that I'm completely broke, but I still have to go into debt. He now only has a total of more than 7 million. This was the money she got from coaxing Miao Ziyi to sell her suburban villa. Where can he get another 10 million for her? His parents' money has basically bottomed out and they really can't get any money out. Miao Ziyi's current 3-bedroom apartment is worth a lot of money. If you just put it all together. But Miao Ziyi. While Liang Chen was still hesitating, Mr. Zhang's roar came again on the phone as promised. He could only focus on that agreement. Where is the original guarantee letter? You have to give it to me. Liang Chen was really scared. He tried his best to deal with the aftermath every time, but this woman had another trick every time. At this moment, he subconsciously began to feel that he would be manipulated by her again next time. Please pay attention to the agreement. I have clearly marked it on it. After the agreement comes into effect, you and I will be done with it. I will never pester you with guarantee letters, children, or other things. From now on, your and my property and finances will be safe. Everyone goes his own way. The other side no longer has the right to interfere with the other side. In this agreement, Taoran didn't make any traps to trick him, so he just let him take several photos there and sent them to his lawyer. Oh, what is he afraid of? Do not be afraid. The reason why I didn't get divorced before was to drain him dry and then give him the final blow. He would soon be completely worthless, so why should she continue to pester him? From now on, she is the one who is eager to draw a clear line with him. So strictly speaking, Taoran was protecting Zhang Lan. She is even more afraid that the scumbag will come back to share Zhang Yian's money. There is another clause in the agreement: when Liang Chen wants to visit Coco, he must obtain Zhang Yian's consent. Zhang Lan had to arrange the time and place. In other words, as long as Zhang Lan doesn't nod, Liang Chen can't visit his daughter. Liang Chen had some opinions on this. Coco was his cash cow at one point, and he didn't want to give up his persona. I don't have time to bargain with you. You either sign or refuse to sign. I'll give you the last 10 minutes, Taoran said simply. If you don't sign this agreement within 10 minutes, we won't have to talk. I will decide what to do. You also know how busy I am now. Liang Chen screwed up his teeth and finally picked up the pen. Taoran also promised that as long as the divorce procedures are completed tomorrow, all the previous guarantee letters will be returned to him. Everyone present was urging him, but Liang Chen couldn't do anything alone. At this moment, he could only accept this reality. He listened to what lawyer Zhang Lan said: although the money you want to pay is a lot, just give it and it will be settled cleanly. Now, as long as he works hard, he can earn more than 5 million yuan a month. In a year, he will be able to stand up again. This is true. Once he thought about it, he felt much better. In addition, his lawyer also sent a message, saying that as long as he can accept the conditions, there is no problem with the agreement itself. But I don't have that much money now. A little less. You can give me 10 million first and raise the remaining 10 million to me within a week. 1 week is too short, I'm afraid. 1 week. I only give you 1 week. Taoran had already thought about it for him. Whether he gets the remaining money from GXC first or sells Sander's house, it will be settled. As for the transfer of our villa, we will do it tomorrow after the Civil Affairs Bureau comes out. Please bring all the materials and documents. Liang Cheng closed his eyes, his heart skipped a beat, and he signed his name. Tao Ran breathed out lightly. The scumbag is finally over. Then I'll see you at the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow morning. If you don't come then, you know the consequences. If you have anything else, talk to my lawyer. After Tao Ran finished speaking, he stood up and strode away. The two bodyguards were in front of each other, and the staff was so horrified that they had to quickly get out of the way. As soon as Tao Ran left, the person in charge of the brand over there rushed in and surrounded Liang Cheng with a group of staff. Get out of here. You scourge. Just wait and pay for it. After Liang Cheng begged for a few words, he had no choice but to leave in despair. As soon as he arrived in GXC, he was informed by the company that a fine of 1 million yuan would be deducted from his monthly salary. Just as he was about to jump up and ask why, he was slapped back by Mr. Zhang, who had just come out of the hotbed. Why? The brand owner is asking for help. I'm begging you for nothing, but they don't want you to reschedule, and they want to terminate the delivery contract with you. In the end, I could only agree to arrange for the company's newly signed Xiahua to bring the goods for you tomorrow. After some talk, I calmed down the person's anger and agreed to only charge 500,000 yuan to make up for the loss. You can treat the remaining half as a fine or as compensation for Xiahua tomorrow. In short, be careful. Well, the reason why Liang Cheng came to the company was because of another thing. Can the company settle my money first and then lend me a sum of money? 10 million. There is no doubt that this question directly attracted another big slap. Tao Ran finally had a good sleep. She wasn't worried at all about whether Liang Cheng would show up tomorrow or not be able to get the money. Even if he dared, GXC wouldn't dare. If they were really bold, then she would just put some scraps on the internet first, and they would definitely be able to eat a pot. Sure enough, the next day, Liang Cheng and his lawyer were waiting at the Civil Affairs Bureau on time. Looking at his panda eyes, it was obvious that he had not slept all night. Liang Cheng's lawyer came over and wanted to talk to Tao Ran. Refuse, Tao Ran's lawyer blocked him directly. Then, can we announce the divorce later? Liang Cheng asked weakly as he followed Tao Ran. After Zhang Yian's recent fire, although there was talk of a marriage change between them, he has come to visit him for more business activities. Even his Weibo followers have increased by hundreds of thousands. He was quite happy with the heat. Then, Tao Ran glanced at Liang Cheng. It depends on your performance and my mood. If you pay the compensation quickly, I will consider announcing it later. Half an hour later, Zhang Lan and Liang Cheng finally dissolved the relationship between husband and wife. The child will be raised by Zhang Lan. That morning, the villa where Liang Cheng lived was under Zhang Yian's name. And Tao Ran also gave an ultimatum, telling the whole family to pack their bags and leave before sunset today. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 543. Tao Ran also forced Liang Cheng to transfer the off-road vehicle and sports car to her name. Of course, she also showed mercy and returned the half-used scooter to Liang Cheng. As soon as the formalities were completed, she called the agency in front of Liang Cheng and said that she wanted to sell $2 million cars. Liang Cheng was so angry that his nose and mouth were twisted, but he didn't even dare to say a word. Tao Ran had specially set aside this whole day, so she had plenty of time. As soon as she made a phone call, everyone in the studio who had little work to do today was called over and rushed to her villa immediately. She and her lawyer were already waiting at the property in the villa area, and changed everything related to the villa to her name. Remember, I will own this villa from now on. Starting tomorrow, Liang Cheng and his family will not be allowed in. Yes, naturally, the property management only listens to the owner. Please be patient and explain to the guard more. If Liang Cheng and his family come to harass me, I will hold you accountable. Don't worry. I will make sure everything is properly arranged. The property manager brought a book and asked Zhang Lan to sign it for him and his daughter. After Tao Ran finished doing this, he went straight to his villa. When he walked in, Liang Cheng was sitting on the sofa, pulling his hair and begging. Father Liang was scolding, Mother Liang was crying, it was so lively. Apparently, as soon as Liang Cheng, who had not returned home all night, got home, he gave the old couple a bolt from the blue. Yes, divorce is a small matter, but losing the house is a big deal. The house itself is worth over 100 million, and the decorations and flowers and plants that Liang's mother has made for many years and Liang's father like are all their hard work. I thought I would take root here in my later years. Who would have thought that one day I would be driven away? Who can bear this? They are used to living in such a good house with front and backyards, where everyone respects them, and where they enjoy the scenery every day. They cannot accept living anywhere. When my son said he was moving, he had to move. He said he wanted them to stay in a hotel first. How is that possible? They don't want to stay in that uncomfortable hotel room. Can you not be scolded for making such a decision on your own? That little bitch, you dare. I won't move. I live here. If you have the ability, let that little bitch kill me. Even if I and your mother die, they must die here in this house. Even if I turn into a ghost, I will still haunt her. As long as she dares to take the house back, I can do anything. What bad luck, Tao Ran then showed his face. She walked up step by step. If you want to die, just do it quickly. Do you think I'm afraid that you will die here? If you dare to stand in my house, I will have Liang Cheng thrown out, and then you too will be exposed here. The house. I don't want it anymore. I will let you two die without a burial place, just lie upright on the granite floor of my house. I'm not afraid of evil ghosts either. I'll ask Taoist priests to collect you first, so that you can die without even seeing the Lord of Hell. Let's see if you can become a fierce ghost. Who can't be intimidated? Like she's really afraid of them. If they dare to destroy Zhang Lan, imprison Zhang Lan, and kill Zhang Lan, she can do even more cruel things. My house has become a haunted house, and I will sue Liang Cheng. I want him to compensate for the losses. I want him to work for me for the rest of his life. I want him to curse you two every day for harming him. I want him to curse you two for not dying in the right place. If you two die, you won't get a single word from your son. So, if you want to die, hurry up. Tao Ran leaned against the pillar in the living room and looked at the people quietly. Liang Ma howled even harder and rolled on the ground. Father Liang wanted to rush up and hit someone, but Tao Ran slapped his hand, and a vase flew away and exploded at Father Liang's feet. Father Liang was startled, and suddenly remembered that the whole family was injured last time because of this little bitch. The whole family had to take care of her for a month, and they only recovered recently. The three of them could not beat her. What a crime! Why did you end up with such a thing? Father Liang stroked his chest and beat the ground, panting heavily, as if he would pass out from time to time, and cursed all kinds of things about his family's misfortune, his unworthy wife, Zhang Yian's snake-hearted heart, crueler than a ghost. She will be punished by God, and she will be taken away by God. Go to 18 levels of hell after death. Liang Cheng. I'm not happy. Tao Ran crossed his arms and looked at him with cold eyes. Liang Cheng shuddered. It has reached this point, and the house has been transferred. If he offends her at this time, wouldn't he lose his wife and lose his troops? He rushed to the old couple and told them in a low voice that Zhang Lan already knew about him, Miao Ziwai, and their son. If he angers her, his future will be completely ruined, please don't bother them. The old couple's scolding finally gradually subsided and turned into a series of wails. Liang Cheng breathed a sigh of relief and came to Tao Ran. Xiaolan, why are you here? Tao Ran chuckled, this is my home, why can't I come? As she said that, she walked to the wine rack, opened a bottle of Liang Cheng's collection of foreign wine, and poured herself a glass. Liang Cheng regretted extremely. I just had a hard time with my parents. Why didn't he think of taking away his precious things first and collecting as much as he could quickly? Once the wine was opened, tens of thousands were gone. He took a deep breath. Xiaolan, can you give me some time? I still have to do ideological work with my parents. Please be considerate of the elderly. They are not in good health. If something happens. Tao Ran clicked his tongue. Okay, Liang Cheng, are you telling the truth? Your dad is stronger than an ox and is pretending to have a heart attack by touching his chest? Your mom is so angry that her howling sound is louder than your lung capacity. She is rolling on the ground. What's the point? And you, didn't you mean that your parents have moved to the countryside? Coming back so soon? I'm sorry I didn't believe you. Tao Ran looked at the old couple again. You don't know, don't you? Your son begged me on his knees to come back, saying that as long as I come back, he will send you to the countryside, and he will never let me be angry with you in the future. It can be seen that this is what you are in his heart. When these words came out, the howling was loud again. Father Liang scolded his son for being unsatisfactory and useless, and hit Liang Cheng on the back of the head with his slipper. Tao Ran took a sip of wine. At this time, there was noise from outside. It was the people from Tao Ran's studio who had arrived. She had already said hello to the security guard, so they came in directly. Seeing the large group of people coming, all of them were burly men. The three members of the Liang family were frightened again. Liang Cheng, what's the situation? What are you going to do? Don't be ungrateful. I'm here to help you. Tao Ran sat down on the sofa with a glass and bottle in hand. You're such a hard-working person. I was afraid that you wouldn't be able to finish it in time, so I called someone to help you. Tao Ran signaled her people to go to the master bedrooms on the first and second floors to help pack things. Mother Liang and Father Liang climbed up and down, blocking one at the door of the room on the first floor and the other at the entrance of the stairs. How can they let outsiders touch their things? If their treasure is stolen or damaged, who can they talk to for explanation? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 544. Tao Ran didn't panic and took out his cell phone. Liang Cheng glanced over and saw that she was pressing the 1, 1, and 0 keys. What are you doing? Liang Cheng had no doubt that she would actually call the police. After all, it wasn't the first time, so he subconsciously reached out to stop her. Can't you see? I'll call the police. Tao Ran stepped away slightly, then I'll tell you that you illegally occupied my house, okay? The police won't care about this. And I didn't say I wouldn't leave. I just want to take care of it. Yes, the police will not care. But don't forget, when the police arrive and the police car sounds, the neighbors will be alerted. By then everyone will know that this house has become mine, and our divorce will naturally be I can't hide it anymore. It had no effect on her at all. But for him. So, I hope you can speed up. I'm looking for someone to help you. Yes, thank you very much. Liang Cheng repeatedly waved his hand to ask her to show her respect, and then rushed out quickly. While begging his parents to stop making trouble, he went to hold his father back, and just let half of the people from Taoran's studio enter the bedroom on the first floor and the other half went to the second floor building. Father Liang shouted treason, stretched out his hand and slapped him twice. Liang Cheng endured it. He can't let the outside world know that he is divorced. The company also warned him about this last night. You know, the advertisements he endorses and the products he sells are mostly parent-child and household products. Even other low-level activities that the company accepts for him, such as being a guest at weddings and birthday banquets, are all because he is a symbol of family happiness, and his personality is his greatest value. Before the transformation, he had to gather as much wool as possible. What's more, Zhonglan is very popular now, so he has to get a little more popular. The company also told him to suppress the divorce news. Mom and Dad, instead of wasting time here, why don't you go and clean it up yourself? Liang Cheng had a headache. So, at Taoran's signal, everyone went directly into the bedroom to help. In order to help these people move quickly, Taoran also helped call the moving company. Of course, Liang Cheng paid for it. This move frightened Liang Cheng again. Then if the moving company's car comes in, doesn't it mean to announce to the whole world that his family is in trouble? So, he begged Taoran again, saying that he would complete the move within the time she requested, and then he was busy calling the moving company to ask him not to come over. Liang Cheng was very busy. He asked his brother to borrow a car that could be loaded with special loads, and gave his address so that he could drive over to help. Seeing that Zhonglan had brought so many people, he was afraid of suffering a loss, so he called GXC again and asked the company to send some people. Come to start a fight with you? Or move you? Do you think all the employees in the company are full? Not only was Liang Cheng scolded, but he was also told to pay a fine. Today's work was temporarily postponed, causing losses, and naturally he had to pay for it. Liang Cheng, who was combing his hair, asked GXC if he could move some personal belongings that couldn't be accommodated to the company. This one was still rejected. Is the company just a garbage dump? If you move things in, what will other artists do? There is no precedent for this. The contract between him and GXC has changed. GXC is not responsible for him, so naturally he will not meddle in this matter. Liang Cheng was still busy calling the property management company, asking them to keep the matter of his moving out secret for the time being. But after thinking about it, I didn't feel reassured just by talking on the phone, so I went there in person. Looking at Liang Cheng running away in a hurry, Taoran snorted, if they didn't use extraordinary measures to help them, I'm afraid this matter would be delayed. If those two old guys get into trouble, it will be troublesome. As soon as Liang Cheng came back from the property, people from the security company came to the door. It was Taoran who called him. They had to change all the locks in the house and install surveillance everywhere. This move even caused Liang Ma to cry. Sister, the suitcase is full. Let's go buy some woven bags. Taoran, what kind of woven bag do you want? Doesn't it come with sheets? Find 5 sheets to pack, it will fit in, what a waste of money. This sentence triggered a series of howls from the Liang family, telling them to handle it with care and not to touch this and that. Just as Liang Cheng was about to go upstairs, Taoran stopped him again. Can you give me the 10 million you have to give me today? He didn't mention it, but she didn't forget it. I don't have that much here, it's not even close. The company did not directly promise to advance the money or lend him money last night, but said that they would hold a meeting to discuss it today. No, he was getting divorced early this morning, so up to now, he only has the 7 million left over from selling his suburban villa. Taoran directly called Liang Cheng's parents over. Your son owes me money, how much can you give me? We have no money, the old couple said in unison. Liang Cheng, what did you say? Xiaolan, I will definitely give you the tens of millions I promised you first. But now I only have 7 million, so I will give it to you first, and the remaining money will be transferred to you tomorrow. I promise to give it to you tomorrow, you see. May I? No need to bother, Taoran smiled. Just bring something as an exchange. In this way, you will only take your clothes with you, and the rest of your personal belongings will belong to me, even if it is worth the 3 million. It saves you money and eliminates the need for transportation. You kill two birds with one stone. Do you think it will work? You're dreaming, Father Liang spat. He was anxious. The Ming-style furniture in his room, the jade he collected, the calligraphy and paintings he bought with others, and the more than 30 boxes and 12 bottles of Maotai in the warehouse, just those, they all cost more than 3 million. Not to mention the other collections of furnishings at home, etc., the son and the various things they bought are worth at least tens of millions in total. Tao Ran, in short, either give me money or give me something, it's up to you. Liang's mother cried and begged, saying that she still had a coffin book worth 1 million, so she would give it to her first and collect 8 million for her. The remaining 2 million could wait for tomorrow. Can she ask? The answer, of course, is no. So Liang Cheng, who was scratching his head, could only borrow money. After all, he was somewhat popular, and before long, he managed to collect enough 10 million to pay John Lan. Both parties also completed the formalities under the certification of lawyers. Please pay off the remaining 10 million in the next 6 days. Tao Ran's words made Liang's mother stop watching the staff packing their luggage. She sat down on the ground and cried. It means that he doesn't want to live anymore. Tao Ran knew in his heart that the old couple's money must have really bottomed out. Liang Cheng soon discovered that he was completely cornered by John Lan. He didn't dare to leak the news of his divorce, so he didn't dare to make any big move. For example, it is convenient for him to take away the calligraphy and paintings collected by his father, but what about the big ones? For example, those pieces of furniture and that amount of wine, he couldn't take them away in one go without daring to call a big truck to load them. Therefore, he still inexplicably embarked on the path of choosing one of the two. Or, it's hot and painful to give up love. Or, be exposed and move away. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 545. Liang Cheng had no choice at all. Not to mention that he didn't dare to leak any news about the divorce, even though he could move all the big things, but where would he move so many things? There is no place to put those ornaments and furniture. And the large tank of ornamental fish his dad kept was worth hundreds of thousands. GXE didn't want to take them in. Where could he find a warehouse to store these things? Liang Chen knelt down next to Tao Ran and asked weakly, I have some things that I can leave with you first. Can I pick them up later? Don't worry, it will only be 3 days at most. Tao Ran didn't nod or shake his head, and asked him with wide eyes, what do you think? In fact, as long as Liang Cheng felt at ease, she could also consider helping him trust. Liang Cheng only regretted saying it. This woman is greedy. If his things were in her hands, would it be possible to get them back? I am so stupid. So, he might as well give those things to John Lan, right? Xiao Lan, look, my dad asked someone to customize those furniture according to the room. Those rosewoods are all top-notch. Tell me the important point, Tao Ran interrupted. The big things at home, the ones my parents and I bought, are inconvenient, so I won't take them away. You just said that it is too little if you calculate it at 3 million. In this way, I don't care about the decorations or anything else. If you don't take it, I'll count you 10 million in total. That's it, John Lan still made money. All the items in this living room cost at least 5 million. After 10 million was disposed of, Liang Chengdu felt his heart bleed. He worked so hard over the years, drank with all kinds of big guys at banquets, and met those female capitalists who humbly accompanied him. The family fortune he had accumulated with great difficulty was all emptied by this woman. Just think about it. I have to cry a handful of bitter tears. He just bought this carpet when Bale chose it. He didn't know how expensive it was until he saw Bale's signature. Just say that the ornament was a gift that he accompanied a group of big guys to the auction and the big guys asked him to choose. That time he almost drank to the point of stomach bleeding. Was it easy for him? Even the wines on the wine rack were all gifts he requested from the organizer when he attended the reception. How much effort did he put into collecting all those wines? That's it, it's done. Even if you move these things to Meowzia's place, you can't put them away. If you don't have a big villa, how can you qualify to own these? A big villa, these days, he would have to work day and night, without eating or drinking, for at least 2 years to buy a big villa with good location and high specifications, right? Never mind. 10 million was given to Zhang Lan, which was just right, so there was no need to give the other 10 million signed in the divorce agreement. He doesn't have to worry about where to raise money in 6 days, nor does he have to go to the company to borrow money. He can finally breathe a sigh of relief and think about how to settle his parents first. Liang Chen was still heartbroken here, but he never expected that his ex-wife would burst out laughing and said, "There's nothing wrong with you, right Liang Chen?" Tao Ran stood up and walked to him. "Even if you are worth 10 million, these are all bought after marriage, right? They are all property after marriage, so these things are half mine. The same goes for your parents, these so-called aren't all their things bought with our money. So 10 million, half of it for you and me, you can only take away 5 million at most. And these things are all second-hand goods. You also know that new cars are discounted at 20% off. You have used things for so many years, and you still want to pay the customized price with me? Are you blackmailing me? If you really want to discount your 5 million worth of things to me, they will be half price at most. This is because of my past kindness. In other words, you are only worth 250 at most." Liang Chen was so angry that he almost exploded. Who is blackmailing whom? This woman was so vicious that she couldn't stop cursing him. Tao Ran turned to her lawyer and asked, "Is this the algorithm?" The lawyer smiled and nodded, "There is no problem with this algorithm." You heard it? Professionals say that my algorithm is correct. So I just gave you 3 million to show my pity for you. What a pity, someone bit Lu Dongbin and even scolded me. These days, it's hard to be a good person. Father Liang rushed out, "Who are you calling a dog? Whoever gets excited scolds whoever." Liang Chen quickly took his father away again. Does the matter of words matter now? His head hurt like hell. "Xiaolan, don't be like this, you can't bear the loss, then at 8 million. Tao Ran's lawyer stood up and said, "Mr. Liang, as my client said, this is marital property and is jointly owned by husband and wife. Does he really think that all the flowers and plants in this house belong to him? Tao Ran, if you are not convinced, we can file a lawsuit and let the judge decide who owns these things." Liang Cheng's throat tightened again. He didn't dare to let anyone find out about the divorce. How could he dare to go to court with her face to face? If he dared to go to court, why would he be blackmailed like this? Then it's 5 million as you said. I'll keep the stuff and give it to you in exchange for 5 million. You're overthinking. I don't want it. Tao Ran checked the time. As a friendly reminder, you still have 57 minutes to clean up. I don't have time to waste it with you. Liang Chen walked around like an ant in a hot pot for a few times. The things he took out of his bedroom already contained several sheets. This did not include the gifts given to him by fans and women, as well as his bags and jewelry. He simply couldn't take the extra stuff. As you said, 3 million. That was the price half an hour ago. You. Liang Chen choked. He really wanted to strangle this woman to death. Xiaolan, let me beg you. It's my fault. I'm sorry for you. For Coco's sake. Tao Ran clicked on the timer on her phone, which showed that there were still 54 minutes left. Then tell me, how much can I get if I keep the things? 2.5 million, okay. Liang Cheng felt that he was generous enough to back off like this. He was generous enough that his father could find him tonight. Beat him to death with a stick. Tao Ran, I just said 3 million because I was impulsive. Speaking of which, I have to thank your dad for scolding me for waking me up. When I thought about it, it was the same. Why do I want your things? This house belongs to me from now on. Yes. If I want to continue living here, I must change my environment. When the time comes, I will definitely have to reinstall myself inside and out. I have to throw out everything related to you. If I want to sell this house, if the new owner has money to spend hundreds of millions to buy a villa, will he not have money to renovate it? Will the new owner of this villa want your junk? So may I ask, why do I need all this garbage? They are worthless to me. So, I didn't give you a penny. On the contrary, it will cost me a lot of time and money to deal with them in the future. You also know how much I am worth now. One day is worth a lot of money. If you calculate it this way, not only do I not have to pay you, but you also have to pay me a garbage disposal fee and my lost work fee for your junk, right? Thanks to the book Friend's Tale number 11482, Brother Long, Runda for the reward, compare your feelings. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 546. Tao Ran was so angry that Liang Cheng gasped in shock. Shameless dead woman. There is simply no bottom line. However, Liang Cheng had no choice but to stare blankly. Tao Ran ignored her and sat in front of the large floor-to-ceiling window in the living room, basking in the sun and drinking foreign wine. He also ordered takeout for 500 yuan for everyone. Tao Ran had already planned this step. She was short on time when she came back this time, and she didn't want to waste time talking about divorce with Liang Cheng. So she just wanted to cut through the mess quickly. She knew that once the property distribution began, it would be trivial. So much property, divided bit by bit, is simply too troublesome. So when drafting the agreement with the lawyer, she only mentioned the division of the children, the house, and the money, but didn't mention any other property. She just decided to use extraordinary methods to solve the problem simply and neatly. And Liang Chengfang was afraid that she would misappropriate other properties just like occupying the villa, so after the agreement came out, he naturally would not remind her of the leakage. He also thought that in the worst case, he could get half of it, but he never expected that she had already prepared the last move. Now Liang Cheng, from beginning to end, has no choice at all. He didn't dare to file a lawsuit, he didn't dare to call the police, he didn't dare to speak out, he didn't dare to be discovered, he was sneaky, and he had to compromise. How dare he not suffer the consequences? Liang Cheng, the time I give you will only last until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. If you don't leave with your things by that time, I will call the police. It's up to you. He didn't dare to call out anyway. The truck was used to load the belongings, and even with the car he recently bought and the SUV he ordered from his friend, the personal belongings of the three of them might not be able to be accommodated. Tao Ran then started to watch the three people packing. The old man and the old woman were crying and wanted to take everything away. When Tao Ran told them that there was only half an hour left, the old man was still counting his calligraphy and paintings. The two of them were in such a hurry that they couldn't figure out what they were doing. When I heard that I couldn't even take away my treasured Lafite Mutai, the old man almost fell to his knees and couldn't get up. On the second floor, Liang Cheng's packing is also in progress. After several choices, he mostly chose valuable luxury goods such as bags and watches. There was really no room for it in the car, so he didn't even take any clothes. In short, He packed the valuable ones first, and before long, he had packed dozens of packages. Seeing that it was 4:30, he thought carefully and decided to send the things out first. He slapped his thigh. Why didn't you think of that before? If he can't pretend it once, just pretend it a few more times. Anyway, just move out before 5 o'clock. Even if he works harder, Zhonglan cannot be given any advantage. So, Liang Cheng asked his parents to continue packing, took his friend, packed the few large bags he had packed, and left in their own car. First find a place to unload the things. As long as he goes faster, it's now 4:30. By 5 o'clock, he can still make at least 2 trips. However, Liang Cheng never expected that when he asked his friend to rent a box in a hotel next door to put down his things and rush back to the villa area, the doorman refused to let him in. Said it was the owner's intention. Liang Cheng called their manager, but the other person begged him not to be embarrassed, saying that he was just doing things according to the regulations. Liang Cheng called Tao Ran again, and she didn't answer until the 5th call. Do you think my place is a vegetable market? There are so many men and cars coming and going from my house. I am a big star. I don't want fame. Besides, the time is coming. If you are bothering me so much, why not hurry up and hurry up? Parents, please leave. It turned out that Liang Cheng spent more than 10 minutes talking nonsense with the guard, calling the leader, and calling Tao Ran. The time now has come to 4:50 p.m. Tao Ran and her people, with more than a dozen pairs of eyes, were staring at Liang's parents and Liang's mother. Liang Chenjiun took away almost all his personal belongings, so Liang's parents and Liang's mother hadn't taken anything away yet. After the two knew that their son could not come in, they sat on the ground and cried. It will take at least 15 minutes to walk out from here. How much can the two of them carry with them on 2 legs? How much can they carry? The injuries from last time haven't fully healed yet, and they don't have the ability to do physical work. Moreover, their son called them and warned them repeatedly not to attract the attention of outsiders. So, wouldn't it mean that they couldn't get the few large packages they packed? Surrounded by a bunch of strangers, they had no idea that their son was not there. Thinking of how terrible their wife was, they almost didn't dare to look at the ex-wife they once trampled under their feet. So, they could only cry to their son on the phone. Noisy. Another 5 minutes passed. Tao Ran strode up to Liang's mother. The old lady was startled and dropped the phone in her hand. Tao Ran picked up the phone. If they don't leave my sight within 5 minutes, I will beat Yao Yao Ling in front of them. Don't. Liang Cheng begged his parents, but the old man and the old lady had no choice but to take what they could and leave. Tao Ran saw this and felt happy in his heart. People, it's okay to never have anything. Even if you don't get it, at least you have something to think about. But the pain of missing something, the pain of losing it again after gaining it, is really torture for this family who regards wealth as life but misses everything. From today on, they all have to live in the pain of all kinds of regrets, all kinds of complaints, all kinds of yearning, and all kinds of curses. In the end, the tearful old lady could only pack up all the cash, gold items, and various documents. She found a few valuable things that could be taken with her and packed them in a suitcase. She wore 2 woolen coats and a piece of fur and hung all 5 of her designer bags on her body. But the old man who was weak on his legs finally chose to take away his calligraphy and paintings, tied them tightly with one of the old lady's brand name scarves, hung them all on his back, leaned on a cane, carried 2 wine boxes, and gave Tao Ran a good look. After Fan's curse, the two left with difficulty. The two of them, one dressed like a polar bear and the other like Ning Keichin, made people laugh. Tao Ran waved to his assistant and asked him to go out and take a photo of the two of them. Photo, she will be useful later. 5 minutes later, Liang Cheng's call came again. After he contacted his parents, he found out that the old couple only took away a few things, and they were obviously not giving up. Xiaolan, can you let me get something more? 5 o'clock, Liang Cheng. Your time is over. If you feel it's unfair, you can call the police. If you feel it's unevenly distributed, you can sue me. Please do as you please. In addition, within 6 days, please use the remaining 10 million. Call me. Otherwise, you know the consequences. Chaoran hung up the phone. A quarter of an hour later, the professional collection handling team that the company contacted for her arrived, and Chaoran handed over the scene to everyone in the studio. She doesn't want anything in this house. She has already warned that all the items that can be sold will be sold. She believes that Zhonglan will not like or want these objects that are full of painful memories, so she will use all the money from the sale for charity. In this way, you will avoid long nights and many dreams. Liang Cheng was speechless. Now, she has to go back to have dinner with Coco. She has always been a punctual mother and has already made an appointment for dinner at 6 o'clock. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 547. While having dinner, news came from the studio friend. Everything in the house, from chandeliers to carpets, from furniture to fish tanks, including all kinds of tea sets and wine, has been agreed to be packaged and sent to the collectibles company, and the other party directly quoted a price of 8.88 million. The information introduced by the company is indeed reliable. Chaoran was already very satisfied with this price. Chaoran contacted Director Lu directly and said that she had collected a sum of money and planned to donate it to the sister fund as a token of appreciation for her charity sponsor. Director Lu was amazed and admired her so much that he asked someone to make a big poster and publish it on the official blog now. Chaoran refused. Keep it a secret for now. Can you announce it later when I need it? Sure. When the friends came back from their hard work, Chaoran asked the hotel to send a large table of delicious food to reward everyone. After the handover, a friend asked, "Are we really listening to Liang Cheng about the divorce? Shouldn't we announce it first?" This morning at the Civil Affairs Bureau, GXC found someone to make arrangements. Therefore, they handled the divorce quickly and in a low-key manner. From beginning to end, no passerby noticed. Yet, it won't be announced. Chaoran raised his glass and took a sip. But not announcing it is not because I want to listen to Liang Cheng, but this is my plan for the time being. Not announcing it doesn't mean we can't do something. What to do? Let the news out a little bit, just a little bit. Chaoran narrowed his eyes and smiled. I saw it was quite easy for him to borrow money today. It seems that he has been divorced, left home, sold cars and houses, and the news of the economic crisis has come out. In this way, no one with any sense will dare to lend him money again in the future. And the friend who lent him 3 million today should urge him to pay back the money soon. She just wanted to force him. She wanted to block all his paths. In the plot, Zhonglan was desperate and became increasingly ill. After being married to him, she endured so many years of mental violence. Later, he sent her to a mental hospital, and her mother and daughter were separated. It took 3 years with great difficulty, and she went through all kinds of hardships to find her daughter. And died inexplicably. If she didn't torture Liang Cheng properly, she would be sorry for this. Only if he can't borrow money from outside, he will continue to pester GXC and Miao Ziyi, or do other stupid things. Therefore, we will put in some specious information to let everyone make some guesses, but not be sure. Only then can Liang Cheng continue to be controlled by me. After all, I am still waiting for the 10 million from him. Chaoran guessed that Liang Cheng was 100% afraid to tell Miao Ziyi that he was divorced and had lost his villa. He also wondered if Miao Zihui knew that the man she had been attached to for many years not only had nothing, but was also in debt. What would it be like to feel like a castle in the air that could collapse at any time? Tao Ran took the ugly photo of Liang's father and Liang's mother leaving the villa in an exaggerated haste and took it with his mobile phone to his friends, asking them to release the photo tomorrow. It should be enough to arouse the curiosity of many people. There is another benefit to doing this. Today, Liang Cheng had repeatedly told his parents to keep a low profile and be cautious, but in the end, someone took such an exaggerated photo that aroused speculation. I think it was enough for them to start a fight again. Indeed, before Tao Ran's photo was sent out, Liang Cheng was already being beaten by his parents. The moment his parents checked into the hotel room, one pulled out the crutches and the other stretched out their fists at their son. Thinking about it hurts, makes him angry, and makes him unable to live. Enough. What was unlucky was that all the hotel cups were pushed to the ground by Liang Chenji's sleeves. Liang Cheng is also angry. The worst thing is him, okay. He was the one who suffered the heaviest losses, he was the one who suffered the most, and now he is the one who is getting beaten up. If you hadn't treated her badly, how could she be so resentful and so ruthless? I'm usually busy with work and not at home at all. You must have treated her harshly, and she became like this. But you don't know she has changed. Do not know at all. As a result, one bad thing happened one after another. That's why I even lost my backer. Only then did she catch me. You actually blame us for this, the old couple started crying again. Liang Cheng took the trouble, you two go back to the countryside first, no, go out and find a place with beautiful scenery and clear water and no one to live for a while. Just think of it as a way to relax. The people in the capital are very discerning, and if your parents live here, people will find out sooner or later. How can we still think about going out to relax at this time? Then you stay in the hotel all the time. I will have 3 meals delivered every day. Please don't go out. Don't let anyone find out that you are staying in the hotel. You traitor! Am I a criminal? What crime have I committed that I have to hide from? Father Liang's crutch flew towards Liang Cheng. Then I'll rent a house for you. A big house. Okay. You traitor! I don't live in other people's houses. Liang's mother grabbed Liang Cheng. Yes, son, can't you think of a way to get the house back? You go find the company to find a way. Don't you know many rich and powerful people? You go to them, let's see if we can deal with Zhang Lan. Handle it? How do you want me to handle it? If it could be handled, could he and the company wait until now? Zhang Lan herself hired a bunch of bodyguards to follow her closely, and the people in his studio are also loyal to her. She is still covered by the light. She has made a lot of money for the light. The specifications that the big boss of the light now gives her, it's almost time to catch up with Xiayun, the first sister of Guangguang. Anyone who touches her is going against the capital behind her and affecting the capital's ability to make money. Tired of living? Who am I in front of capital? It's just an ant that can be crushed to death by someone casually. Also, haven't you seen how hot she is now? How popular is Sister Pi? How many fans does she have? Even elementary school students know her. Who dares to touch her? She is so stupid that she does charity, both on stage and behind the scenes, online and offline. Who wouldn't praise her? I don't think there's anywhere to start to blackmail her. No one would believe me if I tried to slander her. She now has a TV station as her backer, and they signed an in-depth contract. Because of the charity fund she created, she was promoted by the TV station. Mr. Zhang told me that he has received the news that she will be the star promoted by the above next year. Up there. Do you know? Up there. Untouchable. She will be red, representing the image of the artist. Who can touch her? Not to mention, she also took advantage of me. Liang Cheng actually cried while talking. What he never understood was whether Zhang Lan had a deep hatred for him or was there something really wrong with her brain. Why is she forcing herself so hard? She can spend a lot of money on charity, why can't she pity him? To tell you the truth, I'm afraid of her. I'm really afraid of her. She has become a nightmare for me. Every time I have anything to do with her, I either lose money, suffer hardship, or lose my support and connections. There is no luck, no accident. Now I wish I could cut off all ties with her and never see her again. I don't dare to touch her anymore. I always have a hunch that she has a big move. What I hope most now is that she quickly forgets me. Understand? So, I can't handle her. I just want to stay away from her. You're worthless. You're worthless. You're a traitor. Father Liang was angry again. How much money have you lost? From cash to houses to assets, it's almost 200 million, right? The good days, 2 villas, and so much money were all gone. Now the brat says he has to swallow his anger? It's better to just die. But son, Mother Liang persuaded again, your father and I are too old to wander around or rent a house under someone else's roof. I beg you, please don't force me. I can earn several million every month now, and I will make my money back soon. When the time comes, can I buy you a house? Even if it is a loan, I will give it to you. Would you like to buy another big villa? Then, are you really going to lock us up in a hotel? Mother Liang couldn't think about the future. How about you let us stay at Xiaohuai's place, and we can go and accompany our grandson? No, Liang Cheng got angry. Do you have any brains? Do you still think I don't have enough handles? If someone finds out about her, I won't be able to make any money. Do you support me? So I tell you, in the next period of time, you can't go to Miao Xiaowai. You can either stay in the hotel or stay away from the capital. It's your choice. After Liang Cheng finished speaking, he hurried away. He has to go to the company. He had to beg to see if today's fine could be reduced, and he had to ask about the money. In addition, there is a monthly shareholders meeting tomorrow. I haven't seen Bailey for a long time, and I don't know if I can meet again. People say a breakup is better than a new marriage. Maybe Bailey can think of him. He really misses the time when he chartered a private jet with Bailey to travel abroad, chartered a large yacht to go to sea, and received gifts every 3 days. Of course, he can only go to the company. He is worse than his parents. He was afraid that people would find him, so he couldn't even stay in a hotel. Forget it, you can save some money by living in the company dormitory for a while. Early the next morning, the photo of Liang Cheng's parents was exposed on Weibo by an enthusiastic citizen. This photo was so exaggerated that it caused ridicule across the internet. Especially Liang Cheng's mother, who didn't know it, was a polar bear that fled to Siberia in big and small bags. In response, Liang Cheng became furious again and called his parents to scold him. Tell them to keep a low profile, but why don't they listen? With so many designer bags hanging on her body, is she a Christmas tree? This looks like being kicked out to everyone, right? As expected, rumors of Liang Cheng and Zhang Yian's divorce began to emerge. Liang Cheng was caught by reporters at work. He could only refute the rumors. My parents are going to travel to the north. I heard it was very cold, and the elderly were worried, so they exaggerated. I hope everyone will not doubt it. Miao Xiaowai also saw the photo and urgently called Liang Cheng. Are you divorced? What's going on with your parents? Why do people say they were kicked out of the house? Is she more anxious than anyone else? That villa is worth over 100 million. Liang Cheng agreed that she would have half of the villa. What are you thinking? I won't get divorced so soon. How can I give up the villa? My parents are going on a long trip to Harbin. I heard that the temperature has dropped sharply recently, maybe more than 10 degrees below zero, so my mother I wore a little more. What's the problem? You haven't seen me for a long time, haven't you? Let's meet. Zhonglan is back. How was your talk? Liang Cheng had a headache. Zhonglan has been on the set these past few days. She and I have only met briefly, and the divorce details have not been finalized yet. Don't be impatient and don't rush her. I will go over and see you in just these few days. I have no money. Give me some money. You sold my villa and still only gave me 200,000 yuan. Have you? I'm busy. I said I would be there in the next 2 days, and we'll talk about it then. I'm divorcing Zhonglan these days. I beg you, don't call me yet. So as not to alert the enemy. Liang Cheng finally got rid of Miao Ziawai. Money, 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 money is needed everywhere. And bad things soon followed. Because of this photo, GXC company was also afraid that Liang Cheng's divorce would not be concealed, which would cause Liang Cheng's net worth to plummet. Therefore, they temporarily stopped the idea of lending money to Liang Cheng, and even refused to give him last month's settlement. It was useless no matter how Liang Cheng begged. Liang Cheng, who was really helpless, blocked Wang Beilei after the shareholders' meeting, then knelt at her feet and admitted his mistake and asked for help. Get out of here. Didn't I tell you clearly enough last time? Wang Beilei looked at him with contempt. To put it bluntly, the relationship between you and me is a business relationship. When the transaction is over, the relationship is over. It's not kind of you to keep stalking me like this. I'm not a stalker. Beilei, I'm here to beg you. Please help me. Remember our previous relationship. What do I have to do with you? The whole cup of black coffee in Wang Beilei's hand just splashed on Liang Cheng's face. Please wake up, if you help him at this time, wouldn't it solidify their relationship? It's just a game, why bother putting your own reputation into it? She would only help him if she was crazy. Moreover, he doesn't even look at his current virtue. What she hates most is this kind of groveling trash. Don't you just want money? Wang Beilei rummaged in her bag, took out a wad of bills, and threw it at Liang Cheng's feet. This is my last mercy for you. Maybe my bodyguard didn't explain it clearly to you last time, so I'll repeat it to you personally. From now on, if you dare to appear in front of me again, I guarantee that I'm afraid I won't be able to earn a living again in the future. You have to weigh it yourself. Liang Cheng glanced at the ground and saw 10,000 yuan. Only 10,000 yuan. For Beilei, this is just sending a beggar away, right? But even being her beggar is happy. For a cup of coffee in exchange for 10,000 yuan, he is willing to live next to her every day. After thinking this, Liang Cheng took courage and stepped forward, kneeling at Wang Beilei's feet. Sister, help me. I really can't live anymore. I'm willing to do anything, as long as you help me. Wang Beilei kicked him out and pressed the sharp heel on Liang Cheng's neck, but the guy didn't retreat at all. Instead, he shed 2 pitiful tears. I'm not interested in you anymore. Get out. If you get out now, I'll let the company pay you some money first. Thank you, sister, thank you, sister. Liang Cheng picked up the 10,000 yuan on the ground, but did not stand up. Sister, you said last time that Sister Zhao was very interested in me and wanted you to introduce me to her. Since Wang Beilei is not interested in him, can he find other backers? That Sister Zhao is also a female capitalist. If she can make the other party happy, then money and future will be secured. If Zhonglan wants to deal with him again, she has to think carefully. This is the fastest and best way Liang Cheng can think of to solve the problem. 2 chapters in 1. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 548. Wang Beilei almost burst out laughing. How can people like them not find fresh meat? Are you hungry? Would you still choose him? Just him? Who the hell is doing this when they have nothing to do? Is there such a harm around them? Please go back and look in the mirror. Liang Cheng, I'm warning you one last time, get out of here immediately. If you dare to show your face in front of me again next time, I will definitely strike 10 times and 100 times more harshly than Zhang Lan. Wang Beilei called the bodyguard, this man is not very awake. Help him wake up. Then, all I heard was Liang Cheng snorting a few times as he was dragged into the bathroom. After returning to the dormitory, Liang Cheng took a shower for a full hour and still felt nauseous. The recent experience made him unbearable, and he felt that all the women he knew were mentally ill. God knows, more than an hour ago, his whole head was pressed into the toilet by Wang Beilei's people, who euphemistically called him sober. He couldn't even hold his breath, and his head was buried in the water. He choked several times and swallowed a lot of toilet water. He felt the smell was very strong, but he couldn't vomit. He couldn't breathe and felt like he was suffocating. He struggled, but couldn't push the man away at all. I don't know how long it took, but he felt his hands and feet were weak and his consciousness was lost, before he was pulled out of the water by the man. He just wanted to cough a few times and take a few breaths, but he was pushed into the toilet again. He went on and on like this for a long time, until he couldn't even kneel down, and was thrown into the elevator by the bodyguard like a dog. In the end, he was sent back to the room by 2 housekeepers. He will probably never forget the disgusted looks in his eyes for the rest of his life. Ha, even the toilet cleaner despises him. Liang Cheng felt that he was about to collapse and burst into tears. I took the phone and looked at it. During that period of time, there were actually 37 missed calls. Among them, 3 were from his father, 8 were from his mother, 6 were from Miao Ziawai, and 13 were from Xiao Li, the artist friend who lent him money yesterday. Xiao Li also sent a text message, saying that he needed money urgently, and asked him to quickly pay back the money he lent him yesterday. Liang Cheng was too stressed, so he took a bottle of red wine and started blowing it. After drinking too much, I fell asleep directly. After waking up, I found a good message from WeChat on my phone. The company promised to temporarily settle the money he earned last month. Liang Cheng exhaled softly. Finally, Wang Beilei kept his word. He quickly got up and was about to go to the finance room, when Mr. Zhang's call came again. He clacked again, and started scolding him all over. It turned out that Xiao Li found that he could not be contacted suddenly, so he came directly to GXE with his agent. The other party is also an artist, somewhat famous, and wants to find Liang Cheng and his manager Fei Ji by name. Upon hearing that they were here to collect debts, Fei Ji immediately reported the matter to Mr. Zhang. After closing the door, Brother Fei was about to persuade him, but the other party released the voice message and transfer record of Liang Cheng's painstaking efforts to borrow money yesterday. The evidence is there, it's irresistible. They are all in the industry, does the company have no shame? If it leaks to the media, GXE will still be implicated. Liang Cheng rushed to the conference room as quickly as possible. Xiao Li, don't you still believe me? Didn't I promise a 1-month turnaround yesterday? It's boring for you to do this. Xiao Li, are you divorced? Are you? It's nothing, Liang Chenggli immediately denied it. The marketing accounts outside are talking nonsense. Don't worry, I'm not divorced. Okay, the other agent interrupted directly, I'll just tell you the truth. He stared at Mr. Zhang who had just come over, and then glanced at Liang Cheng. If you are already divorced and you still come to trick our family Xiao Li, then you are too unreasonable. Xiao Li has a good temper, but our company will not let him suffering. We will definitely have to settle the score later. On the other hand, Liang Cheng, It is outrageous for you to borrow money. You earn a lot, but you can't even afford 3 million. This can only prove that it is true that you divorced and left home. From this point of view, you have to pay back the money. So, I don't care whether you are really divorced or not, but I want to ask you, do you want to break up the relationship and then pay it back, or do you want to pay it back now? After we make a big deal about this matter, it will no longer be about you borrowing money, but about your future. What can be done? Liang Cheng can't expose his divorce now, let alone let people know that he was kicked out. There are only a few reasons why a man is willing to leave the house. Doesn't this cause public opinion? Paying back the money was the other party's request, and it was also what GXE asked Liang Cheng to do immediately. Liang Cheng could only say that he had no money. What he meant was that the company would give him an advance. Mr. Zhang directly called the finance department and asked if the money originally intended to be settled with Liang Cheng was ready. Without waiting for Liang Cheng to stop him, Mr. Zhang indicated that the money should not be given to Liang Cheng, but should be transferred directly to Xiao Le. Xiao Le and the others left, and Liang Cheng also wanted to withdraw the remaining settlement from last month. What's left? What's left? He was grabbed by the collar again by Mr. Zhang. A total of 5 million. You were fined 1 million before. Yesterday, because you suddenly took a day off, 5 million in various losses were deducted. I just paid you back 3 million, and you only have a total of 5 million left. Hundreds of thousands. The reason why I'm settling the settlement for you this time is for Wang Dong's sake. Still want money? Let's talk about it when you save another 5 million salary. Liang Cheng was pushed to the ground and went crazy. So, not only did he not get a cent of the 5 million he worked so hard to earn last month, but he didn't even see a cent. He didn't have time to feel sad. Seeing that Mr. Zhang was about to leave, he quickly went up and took Mr. Zhang's arm. The dead pig was not afraid of boiling water, so he simply borrowed money from Mr. Zhang directly. He said that he would return the remaining 10 million to Zhanglan in 4 days. He was really at the end of his rope and hoped that the company would help him. Do you think the company will be stupid enough to advance 10 million for you? But if I don't pay the money back, Zhanglan will still bring trouble to the company if she uses the guarantee letter I wrote before. Do you think that the company has only one way to go, just like you? No, the company has more ways than you. The company also has the easiest way, which is to give up on you directly. Do you understand? Guarantee. That's what you wrote. If you make the company angry, the company will get ahead of Zhanglan and sue you for defamation first. So, if you don't figure it out yourself, you're totally screwed. GXE really doesn't want to deal with this guy anymore. Liang Cheng's matter is also a topic of today's board of directors. Abandoning soldiers to save chariots was exactly what Mr. Zhang suggested. Tonight, you have a sales event. Do it well. It will take 5 hours. Get ready right away. You'd better be of value. 5 hours of live streaming? In the past, the longest time he carried goods did not exceed 90 minutes. Fei Jie also directly threw a folder over to him. Here are all your work for tomorrow. Liang Cheng opened it and saw that it was basically 15 hours of work. Including traveling and makeup, it will take at least 18 to 20 hours. The company's attitude is clearly to harvest as much residual value as possible before he collapses. If anything happens to him again, he will become an outcast. Liang Cheng had a layer of cold sweat on his forehead. Yes, I will do it well. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 549. Liang Cheng originally thought that if he did a good job and showed his value, the company might even fill his holes. But on the third day of exhausting work, he had just finished working all night and wanted to borrow money from the company again. He finally blocked Mr. Zhang, Mr. Lei, and others, but they all rejected him one by one. This morning, he received another urging from Zhang Lan. What to do? He thought about it and gritted his teeth. Taking advantage of half a day's rest, he went to Miao Ziawai's place. At this time, my son usually goes shopping for groceries or plays in the park with Miao Ziawai. He still has some cleverness. Afraid of being caught doing bad things, he made a special call to Miao Ziawai. When he heard that the other party was taking his son to the amusement park in the mall, he felt instantly at ease. I will go over to accompany you in the evening. I should go to have dinner. You can buy some food. Well, you can take care of it? I want to eat the food you cooked. Yes. I also want to eat seafood. Are you willing to go to the seafood market? Is it? It's fresh there. I have a gift for you tonight. According to Liang Cheng's scheduling, it would take at least 2 or 3 hours to go from the shopping mall to the supermarket to the seafood market. Miao Ziawai had to cook in the evening, so she would only eat at noon. So 9 times out of 10, we will only eat outside. So, he has plenty of time. Sure enough, when Liang Cheng opened the door and entered the house, there was no one there. He started rummaging through the boxes. He didn't know exactly what he was looking for. In short, whatever was valuable was what he was looking for. The advantages of a small space soon became apparent. It didn't take much effort for him to open Miao Ziawai's safe. The password was easy to guess and it only took him 5 or 6 tries before he opened it. It's her son's birthday and hers. In the safe lay the most expensive gift he had ever given her, a set of gemstone necklaces. There is also the birth reward given to her by her parents, a set of diamond jewelry. All packed. Liang Chen knew that Miao Ziawai loved cash, so there must be cash in this family. This is very good. Otherwise, even if he finds the bank card, he will not be able to withdraw it because of the limit. He found it quickly. A 20-inch suitcase. The heavy one must be cash. Son's birthday is the password. Once he opened it, he guessed it right. It was bright red and full of fragrance of banknotes. According to his experience, a 20-inch suitcase can hold at least more than 1 million yuan. At this level, there are at least millions of them. He couldn't help but hum. The woman also has several bank cards. After following him for so many years, she knew how to ask for money. Needless to say, she took a lot of her son's tuition fees, medical expenses, and travel expenses. Liang Chen didn't feel any guilt. After all, the house was bought for her. She had given birth to her son, what else did she want? He has so many female fans that anyone who wants to sleep with him would go all the way around the capital. He chose her, and she was already burning incense. Liang Chen even tidied up before leaving. He thought that she would have to be busy cooking when she came back later, so she would definitely not find out that she had lost something for a while. As long as Zhang Yian's tens of millions were returned, anything would be fine after that. The invoices for both sets of jewelry are still in the box. Good things have collectible value. In the past few years since I bought them, their prices have increased from gold to diamonds. So the store simply recycled the 2 sets of items. He also took away several luxury goods belonging to Miao Ziawai. In particular, there is also a limited edition Hermes. He bought this for Zhang Lan once to dote on his wife. Miao Ziawai saw it in the car and snatched it away. She is a country bumpkin, why should she love something? After getting it, she only posed for pictures and never used it again. So, Liang Cheng asked his assistant to take it to a collection store, and they readily recycled it at a 15% discount. After selling all sorts of things, and adding the millions in the box, he easily collected more than 6 million, and the pressure dropped drastically. Liang Cheng put his thoughts to his parents again. I'm interested in a house and I'm going to buy it. If you have any money left, give it to me first, That's what he said as soon as he arrived at the hotel. Really? Are you really going to buy a house? Yes, the company settled last month's salary for me, and it settled 6 million. Afraid that his parents wouldn't believe it, Liang Cheng specifically showed the numbers in his account to them. When the two of them saw the beautiful numbers, tears filled their eyes. If my son is useful, all the hardships will soon be over. The company has said that if I want to buy a house, it will advance me 4 million. I will take out a loan for the rest. With a down payment of tens of millions, I can buy a small villa in the suburbs. At this point, he can't care about anything else. Almost serious nonsense. Really, really, Liang Cheng's parents were excited. Being locked up in a hotel room for the past few days, with only a few dozen square meters of living area in total, was almost killing them. Really? But it requires proof of deposit. The more deposits, the better the purchase. So if you have money, try to get some for me. The interest rate on the loan is very high, and I am under great pressure. Bara. Soon, Liang Cheng got another 800,000 yuan in deposits and 500,000 yuan in cash from home. He knew that these two people were very cunning. Last time they said there was only 1 million left, but Liang Cheng didn't believe it. The numbers are too neat. These two people count every penny. Liang Cheng coaxed his father to take out the calligraphy and paintings again, but the old man naturally refused. But Liang Cheng was so capable of deceiving. For the first time, he used his method of deceiving women on his parents. Can they still be fooled? So, when he left, he took a box of money and calligraphy and paintings with him. The calligraphy and painting were sent directly to the collection store. 4 of the 17 calligraphy and paintings are fakes. It was then that Liang Cheng remembered that there seemed to be a few paintings that he had given to his father for joy. He easily raised 10 million. That's not all. In the end, he got 10.8 million. But he still played a trick. He was afraid that GXE would give up on him easily, and then he would lose all his money. So he made a balance of 8.2 million and asked the company to lend him 2 million for emergencies. He shed tears and runny nose, saying that tomorrow was the deadline, and sacrificing him for 2 million was not worth it and unnecessary. Of course, the company will not borrow 10 million. But 2 million. GXE considered that Liang Cheng had been very obedient in recent days, and they also carefully observed the reactions of Guang and Zhang Lan. Indeed, the other party was also tight-lipped and did not expose the divorce, so maybe Liang Cheng could save him, so I readily gave the money. Liang Cheng was very proud. Before the deadline, he gave 10 million to Chao Ran. On the same day, he rushed to the activity time and went to Miao Ziawai's place. Miao Ziawai has been very nervous recently because of divorce rumors. Liang Cheng stabilized her, talked sweetly, and pledged each other to each other. He said that he was negotiating a divorce with Zhang Lan, and generously gave her 200,000 yuan for her family. He also put a humming bracelet on her wrist and lied to her that it was a family heirloom bracelet. He said that Zhang Lan didn't have a son, so not qualified. Only she, Miao Ziawai, was his worthy wife. Miao Ziawai felt relieved, and then had a sweet dream. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 550. In the end, when he got the 10 million, Chao Ran had achieved his goal. So much for monetary coercion. These 2 days happened to be the last 2 scenes of the drama between her and Luo Jiao, so she had not yet freed up her hands to make the final blow. She just asked the studio to release some news first, saying that she saw Liang Cheng's parents at a certain local hotel. It is suspected that Liang Cheng's previous clarification was false, and his parents never went to Harbin at all. So why are they staying in a hotel? As a result, rumors of Zhang Lan and Liang Cheng's divorce were mentioned again. After Liang Cheng learned the news, he called his parents to complain. The old couple felt aggrieved and said they had never gone out. Maybe the front desk of the hotel, the cleaning staff, the food delivery staff, or a tenant who happened to pass by when they opened the door discovered and exposed their identities. Furious, Liang Cheng asked people to delete his online comments and began arranging to transfer his parents. He planned to find a mountain B/U0026B to send his parents there to stay for a while. Liang's parents were packing their things when the phone rang. It was Miao Ziyi who sent a voice message, saying that her son missed his grandparents and asked when he could see them. Mother Liang immediately returned, "We also want to be good to our grandchildren. But we are traveling abroad and have to go back after a few days. Tell your dear grandson that in a few days the grandparents will prepare gifts to take over." At this moment, Miao Ziyi was clutching a ball of paper and gritting her teeth. It turns out that Miao Ziyi has a habit. Seeing Liang Cheng as a treasure, she searches for the word Liang Cheng on the internet and Weibo from time to time every day. Especially Weibo, she habitually opens it and searches it every day. Today, not long after the news that Liang Cheng's parents were in a hotel in Beijing but not in Harbin came out, she found it. Seeing that what the other party said was true, Miao Ziyi also felt that Liang's parents and Liang's mother were really weird. "My arms and legs are old, I'm afraid of the cold, and I don't know how to ski. What are I going to do in Harbin on such a cold day?" Suspicious, she couldn't help but take the ID numbers of Liang's parents and check the itinerary information. "I checked several airlines and found no ticketing information." Not giving up, she sent 2 more names and ID numbers to the scalpers, asking them to help check. Just kidding, she is Liang Cheng who she has been following since she was a fan. She is not familiar with other people in the capital, but in the scalper circle, they are all her acquaintances. As for the ID number, haha. Last year, she accompanied the old couple and took her son on a secret vacation abroad. At that time, the 2 children, an old man and a young child, all relied on her to take care of them. She kept the documents of the old couple. So she already had their ID numbers. Soon, the news came. After checking around, there was no flight information for these 2 people leaving Beijing. The most recent flight news between the 2 of them was from the first half of the year. "It's so far to go to Harbin, how can we get there without taking a plane?" Miao Ziyi was a little dumbfounded. She didn't think much and simply called the old couple. But when she asked, the other party told her that she was in another place and Miao Ziyi was getting angry. "Miao Ziyi, where are your parents traveling?" The old couple could only go back and forth based on their son's previous lies, harsh. Miao Ziyi's voice was a little trembling, "The ice and snow kingdom is so wonderful." "When did you go?" Reply, "Just a few days ago." Miao, "How is the weather in Harbin?" Reply, "Not bad." Miao, "Dad, Mom, which hotel in Harbin are you staying at?" Old couple, "Why do you ask?" Miao, "I have a friend in Harbin. I asked her to send you some local products." Liang Ma, "No, no, it's too troublesome. We are too lazy to socialize." Miao, "My son said he also wanted to go. How about I take my son to you?" "Which hotel? I will find you." Liang's mother was obviously panicked, "No, we will return to the capital in these 2 days. It's too cold here, you can easily catch a cold, so don't come here. Tell my dear grandson that it is better to wait for a while and we will go to Hainan together. It will be more comfortable to play in the water in winter." Miao Ziyi became more and more angry. These 2 people are lying all kinds of things. If they were always free to eat, when would they ever refuse? How could they say no when their grandson wanted to find them? Is the weather nice? It's snowing in Harbin these days. What on earth are they going to do? What are you doing? Miao Zhihui simply pressed a video call, but the other party actually pressed the button the moment it was connected. Then they replied on WeChat and said they were outside. Talk to you later. Fraud. This family is all liars. Miao Zhihui got angry and pushed everything on the table to the ground. Why? Why lie to her? Are you afraid that she will know something? Miao Zhihui couldn't figure it out at all. Looking at the photo of the old couple coming out of the villa area on the internet, something must have happened because Liang's mother was carrying 5 or 6 bags. But to say that he was kicked out is too absurd. And how could it be possible that the luggage of those two people only had one big suitcase? It looked like he was traveling. After zooming in on the photo, Miao Zhihui noticed the expressions of the two people. Both of their faces were drooped, as if they had suffered some blow. Something must have happened that day. And since they were lying to themselves, what happened must be related to Liang Cheng. When she thought of Liang Cheng, Miao Zhihui immediately felt something was wrong. When that guy came over the night before, he was uncharacteristically enthusiastic and attentive, and he hadn't said so many nice things in a long time. Miao Zhihui shook the bracelet on her wrist. He rarely took the initiative to give her things, and something was definitely wrong that night. Moreover, he also gave himself 200,000 yuan for his family. In the past 2 years, his monthly allowance for his family has always been 100,000. For that kind of bargain, it is absolutely impossible for the price to double as soon as it rises. Very abnormal. The more Miao Zhihui thought about it, the more uneasy she became. She always felt something was wrong. Turning her gaze, her eyes were fixed on the suitcase on the top of the cabinet. Then her eyes lit up. No, the location is a bit wrong. Her heart tightened, she jumped up and rushed over. As soon as I lifted the box, my heart suddenly skipped a beat. The light box fell from the top cabinet without any effort, and Miao Zhihui's legs became weak. When I moved my hand, there was no sound inside. Open it, there will be no surprises. Empty. Millions of dollars in cash, gone. Miao Zhihui went crazy and started looking around the house. She soon discovered that the contents of the safe, including her big-name bag, were all gone. In the past few days, apart from her and her son, the only person who had entered the house was Liang Cheng. And there have been no signs of intruders in the house recently, who else but Liang Cheng? In addition, Liang Cheng is probably the only one who can guess the password. She dialed Liang Cheng with almost trembling hands, and then started yelling, cursing, and crying. But Liang Cheng on the other end of the phone was extremely calm. He had known for a long time that the scene would happen, was fully mentally prepared, and had already figured out how to spend it. No matter how difficult Miao Zhihui is, she is nothing compared to Zhang Lan. I got it. But don't get excited, Liang Cheng quickly coaxed people, blah blah blah. He told Miao Zhihui that he was collecting money to divorce Zhang Lan, and he had to pay alimony and child support because he didn't have enough money. So I took her money and used it first. He was afraid that she would be nervous and anxious, so he didn't say anything, but since he recognized it straight away, he would never refuse. Wait a minute. So, you gave all my money to Zhang Lan? Miao Zhihui wanted to die. Is it easy for her to save money? Last time, her villa was sold just to raise money. Now, the wealth she saved is still given to Zhang Lan? What kind of joke is this? In the world, only the mistress wants to take advantage of the main wife. How can the main wife defraud the third son of all his belongings? Funny. She could barely take it. Her millions of money were finally exchanged for the man's 200,000 yuan, but she is still complacent? Miao Zhihui felt like she was going crazy. When she got excited, she slapped her hand on the table, and the bracelet on her wrist hit the table hard, causing a tear. She simply smashed the bracelet to pieces. But even so, her anger didn't go down even a little bit. No, No. How much did that woman ask you for? After I sold the villa last time, didn't you still have nearly 10 million? Didn't you say that you settled with the company for 5 million? But why did you still take away so much from me? How much money? Your parents have no money? Why don't you ask your parents to get it? Liang Cheng, what are you doing? How much money did you give to that woman? Zai, divorce is not that easy. Liang Cheng opened his mouth and came, she doesn't agree to the divorce. She refuses to live or die. The divorce will have a bad impact on her, so she keeps delaying it. My lawyer has been talking to her. In order to get her out, I promised to give her a large sum of money, only then will she divorce me. Zai, I do it all for you and my son. How much did you promise to give her? She asked for 50 million yuan in compensation. My lawyer worked hard for many days and finally negotiated the price to more than 30 million yuan. So many? Yes. She said that if I don't give it, she won't leave. Let me sue her. But you know, she didn't do anything wrong. On the contrary, her reputation is very good. If we sue for divorce, it will be difficult for the court to divorce us. But I will suffer a loss. I will definitely be known as a scumbag, and it will also ruin my personality and affect my career. Liang Cheng said this with a tearful tone. But he was proud in his heart. Look, women are so easy to manipulate. Miao Zaiwai believed it. Because Liang Cheng's words are reasonable and well-founded. In this circle, there are many fake couples who play their own roles. But for the sake of their own careers, most celebrity couples will not really divorce. A yellow-faced woman who has stayed at home for many years will definitely refuse to get a divorce. Zhang Lan has repeatedly asked for a big deal, and this time she wants so much. In fact, she just refuses to divorce and wants me to give up. But I really don't want to continue with her, so I have been trying to negotiate with her. The money, the company's money, and my parents' money were all used by me to make up the money. But I don't regret it. Not to mention more than 30 million, for you and my son, even 300 million, I will not hesitate. Why do you want so much money? As I said, one is her alimony, and the other is the daughter's alimony. Daughter, Keek, I can raise her. If I help you raise Keek, then you don't have to pay alimony. Although Miao Zaiwai was very reluctant, raising a child was easy. If you're happy, just find a nanny. If you're not happy, just send it away. Then you can save at least tens of millions. Why not? Fool, if Zhang Lan loses me and has no more children, she will be even more unwilling to divorce. Liang Cheng's voice was low and pleasant, a little hoarse and doting. So Zaiwai, can you understand my feelings now? What I told you the night before yesterday is all true. Everything I do is for you and the children. For you, I don't even want my daughter. Can't you see my sincerity? What's money? As long as I'm here, I can earn it back for you no matter how much money you have. Zaiwai, don't worry, I will buy you a diamond necklace again after my salary is settled this month. It's bigger and better than the previous one, you have to believe me. Now I only have you. If you don't believe me either, then what else do I have to do? Liang Cheng choked up. Miao Zaiwai wiped her tears and finally felt better. Looking at the bracelet she smashed on the table, she felt a little guilty. This bracelet was one she had seen Liang's mother wearing before. I'm afraid it was really a family heirloom. After all, she was the woman who gave birth to a son for the Liang family, so she was naturally incomparable to Zhang Lan. Then, when will the matter between you and her be settled? Don't worry, it's coming soon. She won't go back to filming in lockdown for half a month, and I will definitely divorce her within half a month. A man's mouth is a liar. After a lot of coaxing, Miao Zaiwai's anger towards Liang Cheng almost disappeared. leaving only her hatred for John Lan. When Liang Cheng said that John Lan dared to threaten him only after holding his guarantee letter, she was instantly inspired. "What about you? Can you write a note for me? Write down how much money you owe me, the things you owe me, the house, everything." Liang Cheng was biting his back teeth. All the women in the world are probably the same greedy snobbery and the same vicious heart. What else can one do besides forcing him? "I will come over in the evening and write to you then. I am busy making money now." Miao Ziyi then remembered that she forgot to ask Liang Cheng about the villa. Why don't your parents live in the villa? Don't say they went to Harbin, I know they are in the hotel." Fool Liang Cheng's expression remained unchanged and his heart did not beat. "You still don't understand? Because we are going through a divorce. The house has to be sold and no outsiders can know about it. So my parents moved out. And the villa is in my and her names and needs to be divided. Each person has half." "No. Half for each person? She took so much money, why would she give you half of it?" Shameless and greedy, Miao Ziyi once again felt 100 claws scratching her heart. "Okay, now I just want a quick resolution. She doesn't want a house, she just wants money. So, the villa can only be sold. No matter how good it is, I don't want to keep her memory at all. We will buy a new one in the future. Villa. Wouldn't it be better for us to start a new life?" After hanging up the phone, Miao Ziyi was still angry. Liang Cheng is too honest. That much money was actually cheated away by John Lan. No wonder she spends a lot of money on charity. If the money were converted into RMB, it would pile up into a mountain. I clearly have a share of that money. Miao Ziyi's heart was bleeding and she just wanted to do something, otherwise how would she be able to swallow this breath? 2 chapters in 1. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 551. The first public stage of Sister has been broadcast, and Tao Ran's popularity continues to increase. Her fan base is growing rapidly across all platforms. Interview, decent. The stage is perfect. Pictorial, excellent. Good character, good behavior, and excellent conduct. The director and screenwriter who had just finished filming the scene praised her, the photographers, makeup artists, and stylists she had worked with praised her, the TV station praised her, and the fans naturally praised her too. There are a lot of praises everywhere, so when the black material appears, it becomes particularly noticeable. An acquaintance revealed a lot of information about John Lan, saying that she ran away from home for a month a few months ago, leaving her husband and daughter alone and disappearing without caring about her husband and children. But in fact, she didn't disappear, but she met a capitalist boss at the bar and was having a heated fight with him. During that time, she was hanging out with the boss. She came back a month later, completely transformed. Not only was she more beautiful, but she was also full of scheming. In short, she was a completely different person. With the help of her boss, she signed a contract with Guang without her family's consent, and she signed a second-class contract as soon as she arrived. The boss also gave her a lot of financial support. She quietly set up a studio and hired a group of people to provide her with advice, promotions, and reviews. Using charity to become famous was exactly the advice given to her by the boss. And when she spends a lot of money at the auction, she also uses the money of the boss. She became popular overnight, and the big guys on the internet added fuel to the fire. Later, under the interference of the boss, she not only joined the team directly, but also airborne on the TV station's sister program team, squeezing out a certain actor's quota. In order to support her, the boss hired a team to spend a lot of money to arrange her first stage. Bala, in short, someone arranged a story for John Lan. There are also a large number of photos accompanying the picture, that is, various comparison pictures of Zhonglan last year and Zhonglan now. In terms of appearance, clothing, and status, they are all leading netizens to speculate maliciously, implying that she not only had plastic surgery, but also had the help of a professional team. The whole person will be completely transformed. The even more disgusting part of the rumor is that the reason why Liang Cheng and Zhonglan had a divorce was because Liang Cheng caught Zhonglan having an affair. Therefore, it is Zhonglan who is truly of bad character, and her husband, who has been making money outside for many years, is the real victim. The whole story is very detailed. An account claiming to be the parent of Coco's classmate confirmed that Zhonglan had indeed disappeared for a while. During that time, Keek also said in class that her mother was not at home, so the teacher took special care of her. Someone else followed suit and said that they knew that Zhonglan's studio had rented an entire floor of a building as an office space. But at that time, Zhonglan had not yet relied on charity to make a comeback. Where did she get the money to rent such a large floor? Where does the money come from to recruit troops? How does she know that she will become famous again? And how did she know that she would sign with the Rays, so she arranged the studio near the Rays headquarters? There are also people who claim to be fans of Luo Jiao. They bluntly said that their brother has never collaborated with Zhonglan before and has never mentioned Zhonglan. Regardless of their age, place of origin or experience, the two are incompatible. But one day, Luo Jiao suddenly she said that she had a sister, and then she helped Zhonglan everywhere and encouraged her fans to support Zhonglan. My brother obviously had to do it and must have been forced. Below that speech, he also thoughtfully took a screenshot of the day when Zhang Jianglan announced that she signed with the Rays. Luo Jiao had an unhappy expression on her face at some unknown moment and overinterpreted it. In this way, it is really reasonable and well-founded. In short, many people believed it. Subsequently, this post began to be moved and spread rapidly on Weibo, short video accounts, and the internet. In just a few hours, this post has blossomed everywhere. Although most people do not believe this kind of unsubstantiated revelations, due to the spread of some marketing accounts that are just worried about the world being in chaos and just seeking traffic, and rivals that compete for resources, there are also many rhythmic posts on the internet. And even a black powder ball appeared. Tao Ran carefully read this post an hour ago. As soon as this black material came out, there were so many enthusiastic insiders who responded, and no one believed it even if it was not premeditated. It could not have spread so quickly on the internet. It must have cost a lot of money just because of the extent of the spread. He was so unscrupulous that he obviously had a lot of resentment towards her. Such a detailed black sticker is not something that ordinary black people can make. There are not many people who know so many things, including that she disappeared for a month. To be precise, she could count them on her fingers. It's definitely not Liang Cheng. He is eager to draw a clear line with himself now, and he has dirty information in his hands. He will never do this. Of course it won't be GXC. Mr. Zhang and the others all know about Liang Cheng's mess. I will never shoot myself in the foot. Then there are only a handful of people who can do this. Either the people around Liang Cheng, or the GXC artists she had offended, or Liang Cheng's parents, or, Miao Ziawei was the only one left. The studio is preparing to arrange for Weibo to delete negative material, reduce popularity, remove hot searches, and warn marketing accounts. No. Why should I spend this money? We won't delete it, Tao Ran snorted. The only thing you have to do is check. Check the source of the earliest post, check the IP address, check the bound mobile phone number or email. I want to know who did it. If you can't find it, ask the company for help, ask Sister Zhen for help, or directly go to the website where the post was first posted and threaten. In addition, check which marketing accounts are the most popular, and ask a lawyer to send a letter directly telling them to either reveal the person who paid for the promotion, or wait to receive a court summons. Tao Ran thought for a while and then said, I'm not afraid of spending money on this. Someone will pay for it later. In short, I want to find out who did it as quickly as possible. If that doesn't work, I can also find a detective agency or a hacker. An hour later, when the black material was fermenting on the internet, Chaoran also got the conclusive information. The person who posted the earliest post did not have real name authentication and logged in using his email address. What's funny is that it's still a Penguin mailbox, which shows that the person is quite unprofessional. I found the Penguin account through the Penguin mailbox. Although the space has been logged out and the talk has been deleted, through the search for that account, I found the campus network I used to use that account. The last time I logged into the campus network was 10 years ago, and the associated school was also found. In addition, several marketing accounts provided 3 Weibo accounts and uploaded all the chat records. They just take money to do things. After checking with someone, we found that the Weibo account is the same IP address. Chaoran looked at the piece of paper in his hand and left. Although I had never heard of the associated school, the province and city it belonged to were from Miao Ziawai's hometown in the plot. The actual address corresponding to the IP address is exactly the 3-bedroom apartment that people have noticed even though I have never been there. That is, the house Liang Cheng bought for Miao Ziawai after he sold the villa. Miao Ziawai. Can't you laugh? Before he took action to deal with Miao Ziawai, she dared to jump up and down. It depends on how you clean up. Call everyone in the studio for a meeting. Chaoran's studio now has more than 30 employees. Thank you everyone, now go sort out the black materials and the various accounts and evidence that broke the news. The more detailed the better. Then Chaoran took the cell phone, flipped through the phone book, and dialed directly. Zioxia stretched her head and saw that the person she was calling turned out to be Wang Beilei. Her eyes widened immediately. What does this matter have to do with Wang Beilei? Seeing Zioxia's curiosity, Chaoran simply pressed the speakerphone button. Obviously they didn't expect that she would call. The first time, no one answered. Hit again. The second time, it was still the same. Continue. On the third call, the call went through. The other party asked who he was looking for. I'm looking for you, Mr. Wang, and tell her that Zhang Lan has something urgent to do with her. Tell her to answer the phone quickly. 3 seconds later, Wang Beilei's voice came. I said, don't do it anymore. Oh, you still dare to turn against the guest? Chaoran raised his eyebrows and interrupted directly. Wait a minute. Let me talk first. Her voice was cold and sulky, and she could convey a strong aura without having to meet her. Wang Beilei didn't even say a word. I don't know if you heard the dirty information about me today. If you still don't know, please search it now. Now some people are making a fuss about the money I donated before, saying that the money was given by a certain big boss who had an improper relationship with me. But I just want to say that the only big boss I knew at that time was you. Yes, the 6.66 million donated late was actually the hush money you gave me. Now that someone is slandering me like this, it not only affects my personal future and reputation, but may also affect my company, my endorsements and activities, etc. Naturally, I can't let myself be ruined, so in order to prove myself, I'm afraid I will pull out bank records. If the situation becomes a last resort, I'm afraid I will have to ask for the police records after calling the police that day to prove the source of the money I donated. When the time comes, you and GXC will inevitably be involved. I am a man of his word, but if I am almost dead, I will naturally not be able to be wronged. What do you think? Therefore, it is not that I am not authentic, I am also forced to do so. So, I just want to inform you first so that you can be mentally prepared. In addition, in my opinion, this matter was either done by Liang Cheng or GXC. Please tell the people who did this little trick that sooner or later you will reap the consequences. There was no movement on the other end of the phone for several seconds. Through the phone, Taoran could feel Wang Beilei's rising anger over there. Don't act rashly. Let me understand this matter first. I will try my best to give you a satisfactory answer. Wang Beilei took over the matter. After hanging up the phone, Taoran faced Xioxia's thumbs up. Wang Beilei was dragged into the water, so naturally there will be people to deal with the aftermath. They really don't need to spend money. Want to smear her and say she is a coward. Then she really dragged a big boss along with her. Whoever is afraid is the grandson. Achieve multiple things with one stone. We saved money and worry. The most important thing is that Liang Cheng is going to be unlucky again. It can be seen that Wang Beilei is a straightforward but impatient person. She is in a hurry to deal with the aftermath. How can she be more like Liang Cheng? Nonsense. Liang Cheng will definitely suffer a big loss this time. As for Liang Cheng, Miao Ziawei was the only unlucky person. Evil people will always be punished by evil people. Want to use it to blackmail yourself? Sorry, Taoran will also lend a hand to deal with them. 10 minutes later, Mr. Zhang's call came. Feeling aggrieved, he took Wang Beilei's signal and later cleaned up the mess. Xiaolan, this matter was not done by GXC's people, nor by Liang Cheng, but GXC will handle it. You don't have to worry about this matter. GXC will help you make it clean. Don't worry, we too. After an hour, there will definitely be no more information about this matter on the internet. Leave it to us. Taoran didn't reply to him. Mr. Zhang, let me ask you a question. You say. A few days ago, Liang Cheng repaid me the money. Did GXC advance it to him? You don't have to worry. I'm just asking. Did you pay in advance? Well, part of it. Don't do this again from now on. Taoran reminded Mr. Zhang kindly, there is a word called stop loss. Think about it carefully. Taoran's righteousness has been exhausted. Mr. Zhang is a smart guy and should be able to understand. Her implication was to tell him that Liang Cheng would suffer greater losses, and to remind him to take GXC and Liang Cheng to make a clean break. On the one hand, she did this because she didn't want to affect GXC later and offend GXC. In addition, she is the last supporter who hopes to kill Liang Cheng faster. When Mr. Zhang heard her suggestion, he would inevitably have wild imaginations and force Liang Cheng to quickly pay back the money advanced by the company. Haha, she is going to drive both Liang Cheng and Miao Ziawei to a dead end. At this moment, Mr. Zhang didn't know that Taoran was on his way to the police station. She's going to call the police. Deleting posts, banning accounts, deleting comments, and reducing popularity are all methods that treat the symptoms rather than the root cause. This incident has already affected her reputation. The best way to eliminate this vicious incident once and for all is to ask the police for help. She straightened her back and dared to call the police in person as soon as possible. It can be seen that she was open and honest, not afraid of dirty information or thorough investigation. This is the best way to prove yourself. So, before GXC could delete all the black material, Taoran took his lawyer and dozens of pages of evidence that he had compiled and went to the local police station to report the case in person. She was a celebrity, and the police station received her with special solemnity. She gave a large amount of conclusive evidence, but did not tell the police about what had been found about Miao Ziawei. She asked the police comrades to quickly help her find out the truth and clear her name. She suspected that someone was premeditated and organized to deal with her, so the people who posted the posts, the people who replied to the posts and spread rumors about her, and the people in the anti-fan group should all be the same. The police station accepted the case and asked her to go back and wait for news. Xioxia, who had received the signal, had already taken a photo when Taoran sat down to face the police officers and posted it directly on Weibo, saying in the name of the studio, rumors cannot be trusted, and those who spread rumors will be punished. Just 10 words. As expected, seeing that she dared to call the police, the keyboard warriors and melon eaters who had been jumping up and down before immediately shut up, and the marketing account even began to delete the posts neatly. Taoran also arranged for someone to bring traffic. Media outlets that were acquainted with it in the past reposted it on Weibo. When Taoran and others walked out of the police station, dozens of reporters had already arrived outside. 2 chapters in one.